The Provost College of Education Zinc TARABA State, Professor Ejika Sambu, FIMC, CMC, on behalf of the management, staff and entire students of the college, cordially invites the general public to the combined convocation ceremony of her 1994 to 2023 set of graduates. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Dr. Agbuke First, Executive Governor of Taraba State, which is scheduled to take place as follows. Date 8 to 9th November 2024. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Venue College of Education Football Ground, Zinc, Taraba State. Announcer Committee. The Provost College of Education Zinc, Taraba State, Professor Ejika Sambu, FIMC, CMC, on behalf of the management, staff and entire students of the college, cordially invites the general public to the combined convocation ceremony of her 1994 to 2023 set of graduates. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Dr. Agbuke First, Executive Governor of Taraba State, which is scheduled to take place as follows. Date 8 to 9th November 2024. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Venue College of Education Football Ground, Zinc, Taraba State. Announcer Committee. The Provost College of Education Zinc, Taraba State, Professor Ejika Sambu, FIMC, CMC, on behalf of the management, staff and entire students of the college, cordially invites the general public to the combined convocation ceremony of her 1994 to 2023 set of graduates. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Dr. Agbuke First, Executive Governor of Taraba State, which is scheduled to take place as follows. Date 8 to 9th November 2024. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Venue College of Education Football Ground, Zinc, Taraba State. Announcer Committee.
Waiting for you and your children deserve the best. So grab this opportunity now. The lesson fee is affordable at the cost of 5,000 naira per month. Take advantage of this rare opportunity. For more inquiries, contact 081 28 54 3150 or 070 63 42 8464 or 080 64 66 0861. Taraba Business School, creating world-class entrepreneurs and professionals. Do you desire to have 280 and above in JAM? Taraba Business School TBS is here again with another wonderful offer. JAM Lesson and Computer-Based Test CBT every Mondays to Friday by 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. featuring all JAM courses, computer-based tests, WAEC and NECO tutorials at school located at the number 183 opposite Civil Service Commission, Hamarua Way, Jalingo, Taraba State. What are you waiting for? You and your children deserve the best.
Good morning, Nigerians. This is Morning Show on Sam TV, your favorite TV station. I am your regular anchor, Ira Daniel Kukui. Morning Show comes up from Mondays to Saturdays between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. In Morning Show, we take a look at the topical issues on the national dailies and try to discuss them as it pertains the welfare of Nigerians and the general society. At this point, we're going to take a commercial break. But before we go for that commercial break, Nigeria as a nation has come through thick and thin over the years since the inception of Nigeria as a nation in 1960. We have experienced so many challenges. We've recorded so many victories, and we've recorded so many downfalls. We have weathered the storm. We have survived as a nation. This is a call for resilience, that if you're a Nigerian out there, endeavor to get abreast of the trending situations, endeavor to sit up, endeavor to make up your mind. At the end of the day, success will come. Don't shy away. It is those that persist that win. When the going get tough, it is the tough that get going. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, I'm going to introduce to you our guests. And we're going to delve into the matters of the day. Discussion on the trending issues and the topical issues on the national daily. You can't afford to miss it. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that short commercial break. With me in the studio to discuss topical issues on the National Dailies today is a very important personality. He's the director of programs at Some TV in the person of Mr. Abraham Joda. You're welcome to the show.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. We're going to take the headline on Daily Trust first. Daily Trust is Harry Trump, American awaits the outcome. And he said, whoever wins makes a history. And somebody said that it's time to abolish electoral college system. What is the electoral college system? And why do you believe that whosoever wins is going to make history in a very unique way?
Well, the American elections is more or less like an election of the president of the world. That is the feelings around the world because the president of America is we can say is the most powerful man in the world due to the size, the power of America, the economy, the power of the dollar, and every other factors that makes America tick. So it is right to say yes, whoever wins this election will make history because we are at a point of history whereby we are at the brink of a world war. The situation in the Middle East, in Europe and in Africa, the two sides of the world are pulling the world apart, and I think we need a leader in America that will come and bring together, at least bring some stability to the relationship among the world powers. Now, coming to the issue of the electoral college, it is very strange for anyone who does not practice that kind of democracy to understand the rationale behind that. But I think the founding fathers of America, in their wisdom, believe that the electoral college system works for them. And if you look at the result of what America is today, that means the electoral college has been working well for them. Now, what is an electoral college? Electoral college is the members of the electoral college is members from each state, elected by each state according to the number of House of Representative members they have, plus 2 senators.
Okay.
So, for example, California has 53 House of Representative members and 2 senators. Each state has 2 senators. Okay. So they are putting all together in America. There are about 538 individuals who will go to their respective state capitals to vote for the president and the vice president. So if anybody gets the vote of 270 out of the 538, it becomes the leader, irrespective of the popular vote. So it is a system that is strange to other countries, but it has been working for them. And I think due to some issues in the past, you hardly find someone winning the popular vote and not winning the electoral college. But in some few cases, we've had cases of people president coming in that did not win the popular votes but won the electoral college. So anytime such an issue comes up, they are always concerned about is he really a representative of the people. So it is the Americans' way, and they have their way of doing their things. And I believe if there's a need for it to be changed, they will change it. But it's strange to people like us that practice democracy of the popular votes.
Yeah, okay. There is this interesting headline in the leadership. It's still talking about the US president. It's a Trump-Harris tied amid high voter turnout. I mentioned how 82 million votes are casted via email. Via email correspondence vote. How maybe I would like to describe it as correspondence vote. Now that's interesting. Maybe this is a way of checking voters' apathy.
Yeah. Well, I want to look at it first for the American system to be able to to handle 82 million mails.
And
it's still coming. It's still coming.
It's still coming.
Without any public holiday, without them grinding down the activities of the state, because it's strange to me that they can just continue doing things without, in this part of the country, for us to properly do elections, we declare a public holiday, everybody stay at home so that all hands will be on deck. So and it has helped in the issue of voter apathy. Although the last election, it became very popular during the COVID era, and the Democrats were able to use it to make their voters turn out in large numbers. So it is a good thing, and it is something that we should imbibe in this country, although we must ensure that they structure the system to taking this vote to ensure that there is accountability for the votes and the mails is in place. It's kudos to America for being able to handle that.
Okay, there's will there be any impact on Nigeria particularly? Whosoever emerges as the president of the United States, yes, at the end of the day, will there be any impact if Harris emerge? What do you think are the possible impact if Trump emerge? What do you think are the possible impact on Nigerian economy in light of the immigration law and LGBTQ and other things like that?
Well, when it comes to the issue of Nigeria's relationship with the US, Nigeria holds a very critical position as a regional power in Africa. So the US always have something to do with us when it comes to Africa and even world politics. And the size of Nigeria's economy is something that they always look up, and our position in AU and ECOWAS. And at this critical point where ECOWAS is breaking apart due to some people pulling out of it, the US needs Nigeria's leadership in West Africa to bring stability and to maintain the support of African countries for the West. Now, let me break it down to Trump and Harris. Well, the president of Trump, just like we know, he made some statements in the past about Nigeria, about Africa, but when it came to him delivering weapons to Nigeria to fight insurgency and other things, he was prompt with that. He made his promises and he fulfilled it. Trump is someone that when it comes to terrorism, and he does not dilly-dally. He ensures whatever support he can give to you, he gives to it, and he leaves it at that. Now, the Democrats, ever since Biden came, I can't really separate Biden from Harris or the Democrats. They are Democrats. They have a way in which they do their things. And since it came in, I've not seen any serious relationship between the U.S. and Nigeria. Harris might have a different agenda for Africa, but from what I've seen so far, I don't think there will be any shift from our position and that of Biden. Then coming to the issue of the LGBTQ, they are going to be pressure. If the Democrats win, they would like to put pressure
on Nigeria
and other countries to amend our laws to accommodate LGBTQ. And this was one of the things that the President Obama did when he was there. And there are even conspiracies that they are doing everything possible to ensure that we give these so-called rights to members of LGBTQ. Then again, the thing is, we are a country that depends on grants and loans and the rest of it. I found out that nowadays, in the past, in the 80s, in the 90s, grants and loans are tied to democracy. Conditions, and the conditions used to be democracy, human rights,
Yes.
and the rest of it. But now I see that conditions are now being tied to rights for LGBTQ.
Okay, that brings to bear something. Is LBG, what's it called? The lay, gay, whatever it is.
Gay.
Yeah. Now, is that a human right? Can that be classified as a human right?
Well, I don't want to say if for those that practice it, it is their right.
Okay.
But for me, I don't think it's a right that I should be fighting for. Even constitutionally, as a Nigerian, it is not a right. It is a crime in Nigeria.
Yeah,
but for them, well,
against the law of the land, against our culture, against our morals.
Our morals. Yeah.
So maybe we should leave that for another sort of another day. Another headline in Daily Truth said, Boko Haram terrorists flee into Borno villages as Chadian troops intensified onslaught. The Chadian troops have left the multinational joint task force already. They've left them. So is it a good sign for Nigeria that people who have been with us to fight against Boko Haram left us, and they're doing it on their own, and it seems as if they're doing it better? They're sending the Boko Haram operatives out of Chad, and they're fleeing into Nigeria.
Well, they're doing it better is I don't think they are doing it better.
Okay.
The reason why I don't think they are doing it better is that no country can do this alone.
Yeah.
Because you have borders. If you decide to do it alone, you chase them from your country into another country. They will have a breeding place there, and they will eventually come back. Mm-hmm. That is what has been happening. That was what made them at the initial stage. They commit a crime in Nigeria, they go into Niger, from Niger they go to Cameroon, they go to Chad. So there was no coordination in the attacks. And when we came together as a group to fight the menace, we were able to have some form of control over where they are, because you share intelligence. You share weapons. Your soldiers can even go across each other's country. You work together as a team. But now that politics and world politics is pulling us apart, internal politics and world politics is pulling us apart, it is not the proper approach. Now Nigerian can as well look for a weak part of the border, attack the Boko Haram ISWAP members, they run into Chad, and we claim it's victory. But the thing is that we need a coordinated attack. When you want to do such, you speak, you coordinate with other countries. I'm doing this along this axis. Please ensure that they meet a brick wall on your own side of the axis. So working together, to me, is more productive than anything. Then there's this issue. I've read some stories around the world. Now in Nigeria, it's going to be trending now that Chad is doing great. Yeah. Nigeria is doing nothing. There was some time Nigeria too was on the forefront. Yes. If you go to those countries, they'll say Nigeria has driven away Boko Haram, and now they are in Niger, they are in this. So managing that information is very, very important. I think we need to sit back again and look at that joint task force, the joint military intervention on terrorism, and we should even extend it to other West African countries, and it is going to go a long way to help us this fight against insurgency.
Yeah. Now let's go on to a headline in the Leadership newspaper. It says federal government reverse 18-year entry age for university. You remember the former Minister of Education, Professor Tahir, issued a statement that said one has to be 18 years before he enters the university. What do you think? Who is more right, Maman Tahir or the new minister?
I think the reversal. I don't think it's, if the old minister was here, it will have been reversed, because the outcry from Nigerians was really loud. We are now in an age whereby children have access to information. So the ability to grow, to have knowledge comes faster than back in the days when you have to visit libraries, you don't even have books around you. Now you have special talents. And you look at the trend around the world. There is no restriction of what a child can do. Once you have the ability to achieve it, then go ahead and achieve it. Now there's an issue of they are underage when they get to university, they can't call. It is a failure of the system. The university system should have an environment in which young people coming to learn should be able to have a safe environment. So it is not it is the failure of the system to provide a safe place for young people. That is what is leading to 16, 17 years old going to university and not being able to cope. So to me, we should allow people grow at their own pace. There are people that like myself. I finished secondary school by I was 16. I was 16, and as at that time I had mates that were 16, 17, 18, and because I was moving with them, I had a little maturity of a 17 or 18 year old, and there are a lot of young people like that. But again, let us look at it from the other side. The chase for certification in Nigeria, it's making parents think that the faster you finish, the better. I've seen cases. I've witnessed cases in which there's this trend. Let me just talk about this trend now. I don't know if it's a trend here, but in the South, is a trend that I've witnessed. People look at their child. You are now in XS1. They look at the financial aspect of paying school fees, paying this, paying that. They withdraw the child from the school, put the child in a tutorial center where they train the child for GC, WAEC, and JAM and this. Then within a year or two, the child is prepared for exams, prepared specifically for these exams. And the child writes the exam at 15, 16 years, the child passes the exam. And all of a sudden, someone you know that was just in JS3 a year or two ago is already a graduate. And they push that child. Now, most of these kids, most of them are the ones that you find them at 16, 17, they really don't know what they are doing because they were only prepared for exam. They were not really educated. So that is another trend we need to look into. So, but as long as a child passes through the normal process of education and is able to scale through secondary school at 16 years, at 17 years, well, it is good for that child to proceed to the university.
But don't you think there should be difference, because there's this natural thing that happened as you age. There are things you naturally will be able to do.
Yes.
Though I stand to be corrected. Don't you think it is haphazard to just agree that if a 15-year-old child is done with secondary school, he just entered the university? Don't you think there are attending challenges, related challenges to that?
Well, let me come this way. I want to use the case of the Vietnam War.
Okay.
The Vietnam War. The U.S. conscripted people as young as 16, 17 years old as soldiers. As at that time, it was against the law for a 16 or 17 year old to take alcohol, but the 16 and 17 year old could be given a gun and thrown into a war.
Okay.
So if they are matured enough
for a war,
then they should be matured enough for the wars of the university. Now, it is we have the cases are not straightforward as it is. Now, the 16 and 15 years old of these days, they are more exposed in quotes.
Okay.
Than the 16 and the 15 and 16 years old of those days may be more matured, maybe more cultured.
Okay.
But the ones of now are more exposed.
What of the situation where somebody that's not up to 18 is capable of making a mistake, except if he's properly guided? You need a guardian, you need a parent, somebody will always put him on check so he won't derail. Now, if it's in the university, there is this freedom. She goes at any time she wants and come back. She does everything she wants. Don't you think there is a chance of her getting? Because I remember Bishop Oyedepo talking about his Covenant University. You know, it's a regulated school. Though it's a university, there are code of dressing, there are code of movement, there are things you're not permitted to do if you're in Covenant University. So he was kind of agreeing that because of their age, you can't afford to take them to public school, but if you bring them to Covenant University, we take care of all these things. We'll make sure they do what they're supposed to do because of their age. They're not matured enough to be left alone. What do you think?
They're not matured enough. Left to me, I'm not an advocate of restricting university students, because the university is a place whereby they learn they learn how to become men and women that will run the society.
Yes.
Now, people make mistake at any age. Everybody need a form of guidance or the other.
Yeah.
So with all the guidance, we found out even in restricted environment. I went to a boarding house, and I understood the restriction they gave us, but we still found our way around this restriction. The system needs to be more structured in such a way that even if you are 16, you are 17, you are 18-year-old, they are able. I've seen 25-year-old go to universities and they join cults. Are they not matured enough?
It's okay. Let's go to another headline on the blueprints. End bad governance. Be good citizen. Tinubu admonishes freed 119 minors as federal government hand over children to Kaduna and Kano governors. They are finally freed, and the president is admonishing them to be good citizens.
Well, that is a good admonition from the president, but I'm also admonishing Nigerian leaders to be good leaders, to ensure that you don't find kids on the street that will be easily recruited into vices like this. Now, I think this is a fire brigade approach to everything. And this is just a symptom. The root cause of all this, we are not tackling it. I'm very, very worried. I'm very, very worried that as a Northern, I'm very worried that the Northern political establishment is trying to use this as a tool
for politics.
For politics.
They politicize the whole thing.
And that is why we all panicked into we have the human rights angle of it, but this has been used as a tool. Now, the root cause of this is the 20 million children out of school children. 90% of them are in the north. It is a breeding ground. Now, after this, we'll send these photo ops. Look good, they're all looking good, looking fine. In a month or two, where would they be? Would they be educated? Would they be trained? Would they be do they know their parents? And again, there should be consequences for parents who allow minors to roam the streets.
Okay, so Femi Falana seems to agree with you. Femi Falana says educate them or face legal action. Femi Falana wants the governors that receive the children. Should there be particular punitive measures maybe introduced and maybe by the National Assembly or the authorities to say that, okay, these particular 119 students, particularly, at least let's start with them, make sure that as they're going back now, they must all be in school or find themselves on one thing or the other that is beneficial to the society and to themselves?
Yes, first of all, I would like to call on I think they are from Kano, Kaduna State.
At least they were received by the governors of Kaduna and Kano State.
I would like to call on the civil society organizations in Nigeria and the human rights activists and legal minds and concerned Nigerians who really want us to go into this. You should come together and ensure that this thing does not end as a photo ops. These kids should be reintegrated back into sane society. They should not just be given uniforms, do photos and thrown away. They should ensure that these kids are educated. And those that cannot meet up, they're educated to a point, they should learn a vocation, and they should ensure that they find out why are they on the street. Who is responsible for them? The state, sometimes I just wonder, why don't you test the law and see if there's a way you can sue for negligence on the part of government to perform its duties. I think we should test just the way the federal government, the president tested the law on local government autonomy, and Supreme Court gave a ruling that before now we didn't know. Let us test it and see if there's punitive measures for leaders or states that don't do the right thing.
Okay, there's this headline on the Vanguard. Say President Tinubu decorates acting Chief of Army Staff Oluyede with new rank. He is promoted from the rank of the Major General to Lieutenant General.
Congratulations to General Oluyede. Well, he has now been promoted to Lieutenant General, and he's way up for him now. He's looking upwards. The thing is, well, the General Lagwaja, as it is in the post for now. We really don't know what the I don't want to delve on that. But well, I don't know. We will find out, is it proper to have an acting Chief of Army Staff
that is promoted to the rank of
Lieutenant General?
Now, if Lagbaja comes back, what happens to the acting?
Well, if it is acting, you step back to your
on the same rank, Lieutenant General.
On the same rank, Lieutenant General. Well, when they get to that bridge, they will cross it. My own is that the job should be done. There should be no vacuum at the top.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you have an idea. Now, the Tribune said court strike out treason charges against minors. IGP orders prop into their welfare in detention. Should this is a precedent that somebody else accused of treason is just being pardoned like that, though there are openings for presidential pardon. But don't you think this is a bad precedent for the Nigerian legal system?
No, I think
for an offense that is as serious as treason.
Now, I think before now there have been cases like that in which people will be charged for treason, and the case will be struck out or withdrawn. Now they've not been really charged. The court has not charged them or not found them guilty of treason.
Okay.
It is an accusation that was taken to court, and they've not really sat and charged them that yes, they've committed this offense. So in this case, just like during the coup, they put together some people, they withdraw the cases of some, they discharge some, and they step down the charges of some. So in this case, it is not really a pardon. It is the federal government saying we are withdrawing this case. Probably they would now charge them for something less, or said, okay, they've done their investigation, this is not treason. It is different from if the court has ruled that they truly committed a treason. That is a different case. In that case, they would not have been able to strike out the case. They will go to a court of our jurisdiction to appeal it. But in this case, it's just taking a case to court and withdrawing the case. So it is not strange. It is not strange.
Okay, look at this headline in the Punch. The Punch newspaper says over 300 billion lost during protest. Vice President Shettima tells release hungry minors. Now, the activities of these minors cost Nigerians to lose 300 billion. That's according to Shettima. Should they be compensated?
I disagree with the fact that it is these minors that led to. There is the federal government have not presented any evidence to show that it was this particular young man that did the damages.
But at least they participated. It is one of.
Now we all participated in the protest, and the protest is not restricted, and destruction was not restricted to Kano and Kaduna alone. It happened in some states across the country. Then the integrity of the 300 billion whatsoever, is there any clear evidence to show that yes?
As a statement of the vice president.
It's a statement of the vice president.
He's not the economy, so most likely he must be speaking from the position of somebody that has insight. What I'm trying to.
Well, I need evidence to agree with him that 300 billion. Now let me talk as a Nigerian.
Okay.
During the protest, I'm on my way somewhere. I have a government vehicle.
Okay.
And on my way from Kaduna to Kano, and a protest occurred. and along the way I come up with a funny idea and write out that the hillocks have been destroyed and vandalized.
Okay.
And when the community sat to say, okay, those are their vehicles were vandalized or properties were vandalized, you know us Nigerians, we will come up with a lot of false claims. But
there were live videos.
Yeah, there were destructions.
Where shops and businesses were being vandalized by these miners. So you may be surprised that when a forensic...
Was it only minors? No, I don't want them to say these minors.
Okay.
Because it has not been proven that they are the ones that vandalized. Now that Nigerians, hoodlums, use the word, not these minors, because they've not hoodlums.
And these ones were included. They were
how have the police been able to provide evidence that these particular ones were the ones that did the destruction?
And maybe, well, what I'm saying is that should it be that it is like that? Should the government compensate those people too?
Those that lost their...
Yes,
yeah, definitely. The government should compensate them
and give them some...
Yes, they should. The people should put forward claims and receive compensation
from bailout grants like that.
Yes.
Okay, we go on to the Daily Times. The Daily Times said Sokoto government raises alarms over infiltration of a new terror group called Lakurawas. That is frightening, isn't it?
It is really frightening. A new terror group in a time like this where we have ISWAP, we have the other faction that used to be led by Shekau. We have pockets of bandits operating independently and around the northwest. We have also those
one in the east.
We are in the east. We have insurgency in the east, the agitation for Biafra, and now we are having a new terrorist group coming from the Sokoto axis. Now, my fear in the past 2 years or so, information that has been coming out of Sokoto is quite worrying, because I remember in the past there's this saying that no matter what happens, Sokoto is safe. In the past, religious crises and the rest of it doesn't occur in Sokoto. The Metasene riots, it doesn't occur in Sokoto. Sokoto is considered more or less like a holy place that they respect. But now, for the past 2 years, the attacks, bandits attack people in Sokoto and the rest of it. And now a new terror group. And you know, Sokoto share borders with Niger
Republic.
And most times these terror groups, they operate across borders. This is worrisome. This is something that the security agencies must look into. And again, we should not be reactive. We have the NIA, we have agencies that are supposed to keep all these things in the board.
And the report says SECT is currently operational in 5 local governments of Sokoto State. It's quite disheartening. There's this one again. Talk about last month officer set ablaze while discharging official duties. It's the story of last month official trying to arrest a driver that was doing what was not right, and the driver decided to set himself ablaze with the last mile official and the vehicle. Don't you think this is a psychiatric case or something? Depressed or something?
It is something that is very worrisome. If you've lived in Lagos, there are a lot of crazy things that happens in traffic that you begin to wonder, don't we all need a test to find out if we are okay? I think this is very wrong. It is very worrying, and it's very sad that a man leaves the house in the morning to serve his nation, and at the end of the day, he was set ablaze by someone else. I really don't know the circumstances that led to it, but I think it is wrong. It is disturbing that people are so stressed up that they get to the point of taking their own lives and the lives of another person. It is a trend that we need to it is worrisome. And the thing is that I would also like to speak to Nigerians. Let me start with the law enforcement agents. Please do your job in a professional manner, not in a manner in which it will lead to violence or agitation. That is one. Then two, Nigerians, we should learn to respect constituted authority. We should learn to do things the right way. If you do things the right way, you have every right. And I trust Lagos. If you are on the right side of the law, you always have people who gather around you and say, no, let this man go, let this man go. And I call on security agencies, government officials, please perform your duty in a professional way. A life is more important than the fine the government will receive. You don't drag steering with drivers just because you are using force to arrest someone that commits a traffic offense. I think these are just things that it is not strange. It is not strange, but it's unfortunate.
Is it a deficit of how do I describe it? Okay, we take a commercial break now. Take a short commercial break. We'll come back and we'll continue. Okay, we go to the matrix. The matrix says your tax reform bill is dead on arrival. Ndume bombs Tinubu. Ndume continued to say, I am getting good support from my colleagues to throw out the bill. Ndume is a member of the National Assembly. So what do you think is going to happen?
Idume is a senior member of the National Assembly. Yeah. He's a veteran of battles like this. And if he says he's dead on arrival, be rest assured that the bill is going to go through a lot for it to survive. I think it is time for us to, for the National Assembly to look at what Nigerians want and ensure that well, to me, I believe that bill should be debated, and we should look at the merit and demerit, and the new proposals should be brought into the bill, especially in some areas whereby it's not about increasing the tax, but regulation of we should look at the bill in such a way that we'll be able to harmonize the taxation in Nigeria. We should also be able to look at how to block leakages and how to bring efficiency in collecting of tax. But any item that includes increase in tax, I think that should be thrown out.
Okay, let's take this one before we go for a commercial break. Is the showbiz gist, the matrix showbiz gists. Of former McDermott said, painkillers damage my kidneys. Now she's giving her experience. She's an Hollywood actress, and she mentioned how painkillers have damaged her kidneys. Now, there is this proliferation of people taking painkillers, especially if you go to sites where people are involved in manual jobs. They do take these painkillers some people take it on a regular basis. What's your advice for Nigerians?
I think Nigerians have this habit. Recently, we've started this habit of abusing drugs. And now you said something about people. In the past, it is people that do menial jobs that abuse these painkillers. They take it in 10s and 20s, but nowadays, even like she does not do any menial job. It is just an addiction. Yeah. People get high on a lot of things nowadays. The young people, they look for, they abuse everything, and they find their pleasure in the feelings they get in abusing it. And these things have effect. Look at her, her kidney is having issues. And some, the pressure and stress of work, of society, have made some people to look for antidepressants to help them, and most times they don't go for prescription. Someone may just say, if you take this tablet, you will feel relaxed, and you try it. The next thing, I felt good. You begin to take 2. From 2, it wouldn't work again. You take 3, you take 4. Before you know, you're addicted to it, but you are killing your organs.
Okay, we're going to go for a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to go on to the headlines that has to do with Jalingo, with Taraba State, and with the Northeast. You can't afford to miss it. Stay tuned, please.
The Provost College of Education in Taraba State, Professor Ejika Sambu, FIMC, CMC, on behalf of the management, staff and entire students of the college, cordially invites the general public to the combined convocation ceremony of her 1994 to 2023 set of graduates. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Dr. Agbuke First, Executive Governor of Taraba State, which is scheduled to take place as follows. Date 8 to 9th November 2024. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Venue College of Education Football Ground, Zing, Taraba State. Announcer Committee. The Provost College of Education Zinc TARABA State, Professor Ejika Sambu, FIMC, CMC, on behalf of the management, staff and entire students of the college, cordially invites the general public to the combined convocation ceremony of her 1994 to 2023 set of graduates. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Dr. Agbuke First, Executive Governor of Taraba State, which is scheduled to take place as follows. Date 8 to 9th November 2024. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Venue College of Education Football Ground, Zinc, Taraba State. Announcer Committee. The Provost College of Education Zinc, Taraba State, Professor Ejika Sambu, FIMC, CMC, on behalf of the management, staff and entire students of the college, cordially invites the general public to the combined convocation ceremony of her 1994 to 2023 set of graduates. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Dr. Agbuke First, Executive Governor of Taraba State, which is scheduled to take place as follows. Date 8 to 9th November 2024. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Venue College of Education Football Ground, Zinc, Taraba State. Announcer Committee.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the Some TV Morning Show. On Some TV Morning Show, we discuss topical issues that are being featured on the national dailies across the nation. And on this segment, we're going to discuss the national dailies that has to do with Taraba and Jalingo and the Northeast. And on the one of the major headlines on Taraba News talk about Some TV commences test broadcast on decoders. Some TV is the newest TV station, and that operates 24 hours service in Jalingo. Shed more light on it, the director of programs on Some TV.
Okay, Some TV, that is Super Media Television, is a new TV station that is a commenced test broadcast. Some TV free to air is on Strong, is on CSAT and ISI frequency. 12589 symbol rate, 26250 pole H satellite, Nikon sat, and our I1R position is 42.5 E, and we are broadcasting live from the city of Jalingo, the capital of the Taraba State. And if you look at our programs, it has been very, very revealing. We've been doing a lot of analysis on the American elections, and we've been having top of the news, top of the hour news, and very, very insightful analysis have been going on here. So anybody around the world that have a television or they have a phone and internet should tune into Some TV, and you'll be surprised at the refreshing
Maybe you should talk about the launch day of on the 1st January. Can you light on the 1st January 2025?
Well, on the 1st January of 2025, as a New Year break, the world should be ready for a new player in the industry that is going to change the face of television media, that is going to change the face of media in the world, right? Because I'm not, I know the antecedent of Chief Gabriel Ayinka, We've seen what he has done with the media space in Taraba in a short time. And some TV is a project that is going to turn around information dissemination around this axis. It's going to project Taraba to the world and also bring the world close to Taraba.
Okay, we're going to the next headline on Taraba News. Governor Agu donates 10 million and Hilux van to former African champion. He's talking about Ifremo, who was a two-time champion of. What is your take on that?
Yeah, is a legend, is a hero, is someone that's done Nigeria proud, that's done Africa proud, has done Taraba proud. And giving him 10 million and Helios van is a very good one. How I watch his activities is one of those that promotes sports in Taraba State, and it's a good one for the governor to empower this man. And I think with this, he will be able to focus on training young people that will, in the future, will become African champions and also world champions.
Okay. There's a case for EFCC ex Taraba Governor Ishaku and PAMSEC object to the prosecution by EFCC. There are sometimes back somebody was talking about how it is one of the things that happened, just like we mentioned in the discourse yesterday. Are these things not becoming too many in occurrence? It's like every former governor is going to EFCC.
Well, it is not out of, with the way we see resources is being managed. To me, it is not out of place for them to answer questions if you have been, if you were called to serve, and definitely at the point in time you have to come to give account of what you did. So it is not out of place if there's a petition against them for them to answer those petitions. And it's in the wisdom of the EFCC, if they feel they have enough evidence to charge you to court, I think you should be man enough to face the court and bring up evidence to prove that you are innocent. To me, the first signal, the first red flag that to me personally, I'm sorry about this, the first red flag that you are guilty is when you begin to look for technicalities to knock out a case. If you are really sure of what you are doing, that I'm not involved in this, you will be eager to get to court and tell, my lord, these are the evidence, these are the things to show that I'm not involved with this. This is a setup, this is a witch hunting, and I believe that if you do this with all the evidence on ground, you will be free in a few months' time. But when you begin to look for a way for you not to be prosecuted, for perpetual injunctions and the rest, it's a red flag to me.
Okay. There's another important headline on Taraba News cover. Dr. Augustina Gordon represents Nigeria in Washington, D.C. Education Mission. Augustina is the Commissioner of Education for Taraba State. And what is the benefits for, does this partnership in the long run benefits the educational sector of Taraba State?
Well, partnership is meant to be of mutual benefits, and when you go for trips like this and you come back in a few months' time, we should be able to understand, okay, this is what we agreed on. This is the time frame for the projects that is going to come in. This is what the partnership is all about. But it seems, with all due respect to our visitation, we've seen government officials travel across the world to partner. And when we come back, it could be that they don't follow us up with information. That's why we don't know the value of this partnership. But I think we should begin to ensure that this partnership bear fruits beyond the stories that come out. It's a good one to partner with the United States, and I will have faith in this simply because of the strides of the governor in education in Taraba. So I believe that he's a man that wants education. So for the commissioner to go to the US to partner, it is going to give us dividends of democracy.
Okay, there's this one again. Committee calls for community engagement over local government autonomy. What do you think should be the roles of community in the long run, as in when the implementation of the local government autonomy has come into full fledged? What role do you think the community should be able to play?
Yeah, I'm an advocate of power should be at the grassroots. So the community has a very major role to play in local government administration and the autonomy of the local government, because the local government is the closest arm of is the closest tier of government to the people. Is the one that in a few minutes you can get to the local government secretariat. The person is one of you. The projects are within your street, within your village. I think the community has much to do concerning the autonomy of the you know, one thing with us, that we are people that are tied to where we come from. If you look at us, if something happens in my village, even though I'm living in Jalingo or I'm living in the US, I'm more concerned about it than what is happening where I live. So once there's local government autonomy and we know these funds have gotten to the local government, we can question our leaders. We can question the local government chairman. Why is this road not fixed? We have a farm here. Every day people go to the farm, they bring in bags of, why don't you grade a road to those farms? These are things that will enhance productivity at a local level, especially in a state like Taraba, where we have a large rural settlements and community. I think the local government will serve us better than any other arm of government, any other tier of government.
Okay. We have come to the end of this broadcast morning show on Sam TV. We come up on morning show between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. every Monday to Saturday, and we discuss topical issues that are on national dailies as it concerns Nigeria, and we also discuss issues that are trending in Jalingo, Taraba State, and in the Northeast. At this point, I want to appreciate our guests. We thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you.
We really appreciate your contribution and insight. And I also want at this point to appreciate the sound engineer here in the studio, in the person of Silas Godgift Walu and Mr. Emmanuel Attar James. And we really appreciate the efforts of the floor manager. And see you tomorrow. Be sure to stay blessed.